On December 16, 2000, Mike Williams kissed his wife and daughter goodbye, grabbed his shotgun, and headed out for a solo duck hunt on Florida's Lake Seminole. But by noon, he was supposed to be home. It was his 6th wedding anniversary. Instead, he vanished without a trace. Was it a tragic accident or a carefully planned murder? Did a man vanish into the jaws of alligators, or was he the victim of a far more sinister plot? This is the baffling case of Mike Williams, a story of love, betrayal, and a disappearance that still haunts investigators decades later. Buckle up, this is one mystery you won't want to miss. This is Gator Country, a breathtaking yet treacherous stretch of swamp near Tallahassee, Florida. Here, the waters are ruled by cold-blooded predators. But in December 2000, another kind of killer may have struck. Meet Mike Williams, a successful real estate agent, a devoted husband, and a loving father. But one fateful morning, Mike headed out to Lake Seminole for a solo duck hunt and never returned. The glistening waters of Lake Seminole had always been Mike's sanctuary. Friends say he'd seize any chance to hunt, even if it meant braving the elements alone. But this trip was different. A brutal cold front had swept in, dropping temperatures to a bone-chilling 19 degrees. Mike promised his wife Denise he'd be back by noon. It was their 6th wedding anniversary, after all. But as hours turned to darkness, Denise grew frantic. Mike wasn't answering his cell phone. A desperate search began. Mike's best friend, Brian Winchester, and Denise's father led the charge. But the conditions were brutal: freezing winds, rain, and near-zero visibility. The next day, they found Mike's boat, but there was no sign of him. His shotgun was still in its case, decoys neatly stacked, but Mike was gone. Authorities launched a massive search. Divers, helicopters, and hundreds of hours of manpower scoured the lake. But as weeks turned to months, hope faded. Investigators concluded Mike had likely fallen overboard, dragged under by the weight of his waders, and drowned. But there was one glaring problem. No body was ever found. Mike's mother, Cheryl, refused to believe the official story. Alligators don't eat people whole, she insisted. If they attack, there are always remains: bones, clothing, something. But there was nothing. Adding to the mystery, no one recalled seeing Mike at the lake that morning. Was this a tragic accident or something far more sinister? The search for Mike Williams was exhaustive: 44 days, over 700 man-hours, and not a single trace of him. Investigators speculated that alligators may have consumed him entirely, but Cheryl wasn't convinced. "I wasn't there to help you," she lamented. "How did you die? Were you in pain? Was it quick?" It's horrible. But as the years passed, strange clues began to surface. A hat appeared floating near where Mike's boat was found. A fisherman discovered a pair of waders identical to Mike 6 months after his disappearance. Even more bizarre, divers later recovered Mike's hunting jacket, license, and a flashlight that still worked after half a year underwater. The evidence was too pristine, too perfect. Cheryl believed it had been planted. And as she dug deeper, she uncovered a web of secrets that would shake the case to its core. Was Mike Williams the victim of a cold-blooded predator or a cold-blooded killer? 6 months after Mike's disappearance, his wife Denise petitioned the court to declare him dead. She collected $1.5 million from life insurance policies taken out just months before Mike vanished. But here's the twist. Mike's best friend, Brian Winchester, had sold him those policies. And not long after Mike disappeared, Brian divorced his wife and married Denise. The plot thickened. Mike's boss, Clay Ketchum, revealed that Mike had confided in him about marital troubles just weeks before his disappearance. There were issues, Ketchum said. Something about finances and trust. Then came the bombshell. Brian Winchester was arrested for allegedly kidnapping Denise at gunpoint during their tumultuous divorce. In court, Denise recounted the harrowing ordeal while her teenage daughter begged the judge to keep Brian behind bars. For Mike's family, this was the break they'd been waiting for. "I think it's going to take a confession to crack this case," Mike's brother Nick said. If Brian and Denise were involved, they'd want to stay married to avoid testifying against each other. But despite the mounting suspicions, no one has ever been charged in Mike's disappearance. Denise has remained silent, cutting ties with Mike's family. Cheryl, now in her 70s, continues her relentless quest for answers. "I only have two choices," she says. "Either Mike is dead or he's alive somewhere. Until I have proof, I'll keep believing he's coming home." So, what really happened to Mike Williams? Was he devoured by alligators, or was he the victim of a calculated murder? The truth remains buried in the murky depths of Lake Seminole, a mystery that continues to haunt all who knew him. Was this a tragic accident or a carefully orchestrated crime? The clues are there, but the truth remains elusive. What do you think happened to Mike Williams? Share your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling mysteries that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe.